Thank you all. This book is Aladdin Factor. This one came to me back in 1995 or 96 time frame. That's the time when they published this book. I'm not sure how many of you recognize Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. How many of you know these authors? Anybody knows? Excellent. They are the ones, if I tell their books, you will recognize them. Chicken Soup for the Soul, it came from them only. See, these two authors, they each one wrote some stories like 40 stories or something like that, and they met somewhere. At that time, Mark Victor Hansen said, "Hey, why don't we publish the book together and make it one-on-one stories?" So that's how they come up with the concept of Chicken Soup for the Soul, which gives, if people don't are not aware of the book Chicken Soup for the Soul, it is like in US when anybody gets a fever or high temperatures, they give chicken soup. Just like in India, we get a tomato soup or bread for fever. So, so the soul, it is for the people who are down. They can enjoy. That's the book they came up. That story I'll mention later on. So they wrote this book, which is called Aladdin Factor. Majority of us know what is Aladdin. Is It's a magic cup which you rub and imp comes out of that, and the genie comes out and gives the thing. So they says they, we are all performing at under level, even though we have the capacity, because we have different things, we have different barriers for asking. So I think in the book I said, the in the advertisement we sent to you, the poster, it says world is ready to give you what you want, but you have to ask. So this book is before secret, before nonviolent communication. This that book also. When I'm going through this book, I remember that, oh, this is what secret is mentioning. This is what nonviolent communication is talking about. So all these are there before they became available to us. So they talk about why we are not asking. They talk about how to increase that muscle. They talk about all these things, and they tell a number of stories. I highly recommend everybody to listen to the book or read the book, because they tell a number of stories. So to start off the story, how their chicken soup for the soul came up, they wrote the book. They went to the publishers. Remember, this is back in 90s. So they went to the publishers, they rejected. Can you guess how many of them rejected them before the book were published? 142 publishers rejected them. Then only the one author accepted it, and it became history. Now the more than 1 billion copies of Chicken Soup for the Soul are published. There are Chicken Soup for the Soul, like n number of things. Chicken Soup for the Young Soul, Mother Soul, Father Soul. You remember, you name it. There are Horse Lover Soul, um, like that. There are Teenager Soul. They brought up so many stories which you can read anytime and get a better mood. So that's how they came up. So they tell these kind of stories. So another story I want to mention is uh, these people, when they created the audio book which came through Nightingale Conant, those times they are they are the ones who used to publish them in the audio cassettes. I'm not sure how many of you used audio cassettes, but I was a big user of audio cassettes back in 90s. uh, Nightingale Conant used to publish six audio cassettes in an album, and they used to buy big album like that, six audios, 12 audios. I used to buy from Nightingale Conant and listen to them. So that audio, they both authors chime in, like talk about their book and start telling the stories. One place they says, a lot of times we ask, and immediately before, like let's say I go to my boss and he says, boss, can I get a rise? Before she or he can open their mouth, I will say, I know it's difficult. I know you just gave me last year only, so I backpedal whatever I ask. Same thing we do with the children, same thing with anywhere we backpedal. But these people says, ask, and shut your mouth. That's all he says. For that, they tell a story. One person wants to help somebody in Korea, 80,000 people, children, and he goes to way back in 90s. He goes to one airline operator and he says, hey, I want to help them, how can you help? And he shuts his mouth and he was waiting. Other person doesn't respond. He is sweating inside. His shoes are filled with sweat and his hands are sweating, but he didn't open his mouth, just kept there. 28 minutes later, he answers that, okay, I will do it. So that's mind boggling. 28 minutes keeping mouth shut without backpedaling, without talking anything. So there, like that, there are excellent stories they narrate in the book or in the audio cassette. You can, I think it's in the available on YouTube also, the whole album. A lot of stories they tell. So basically, to go into the book, that says there are 5 barriers for asking. Always we have these barriers. One is ignorance. We don't know what to ask or whom to ask. That's why we don't ask anything. That is one barrier, which is ignorance. The second one is limiting beliefs. I don't deserve my rise. I don't deserve extra salary. I don't deserve this. See, this is a limiting beliefs. Conscious subprogramming. We don't deserve, or asking is wrong. Oh, that's another thing. In India, we are not supposed to ask anything. We are not, we have to be very humble and all that stuff. Limiting beliefs. A lot of limiting beliefs are there. The third one is fear of rejection. We are, that's another big thing. If we ask, what if they says no? What if they says, you are a fool, or whatever they says? Why? So fear is there, fear of rejection. The fourth one is self-esteem, low self-esteem. The feeling of one's worthy is requested help is or reward. That's the, it goes to my employment thing I'm telling. And then the pride, mistaken belief that if I ask, people think that I'm weak. That is another big thing. People think they don't want to ask, thinking that other people think something. In my childhood days, in the class, if the guy is asking too many questions, they says, are you buttering the teacher, are you buttering the lecturer to get good marks? That's what they used to say. Or they used to call, in the Telugu they says giribabu. They used to call them the giribabu. If you ask too many questions, they used to call him, oh, he's a big giribabu. So we discourage people from asking. So 5 barriers are ignorance, limiting beliefs, fear of rejection, low self-esteem, and pride. And they come back with specifics how to ask. Like you may say, how I can ask the questions. What is it? He says specific. Vague questions get vague results. So I need more money doesn't help. Even one, some of the seminars I went, they says, who wants more money? And people raise their hand, and he picks one person. They go to the stage and he gives $1 to him and says, okay, you got more money than what you used to have more before. So be specific. I want $10,000, or I want this specific. That's what they says in the ask. And be consistent. Asking once is rarely enough. That is the biggest thing. We think that by asking one time, the other person needs to fulfill it. And success often requires asking until. For this, they tell a story. Um, One of the famous author, I recollect their name, he had 8 children and or 9 children and 2 of them. So 11 of them going by flight. All these examples are before our internet. So remember those days. So 11 of them, they went to LA. They want to get into the plane and the plane had some problem. So they canceled it. And it's legally, if the flight is cancelled, it's their problem to book a flight for us, but nobody knows about it. So he goes to the teller or sales agent there and says, hey, what happened to the flight? Sir, your flight is cancelled. You need to, so he says, so, okay. And you need to book your own. He says, have a confirmed ticket. You, it's not my problem. You need to send me to the destination. Sir, all the people are waiting. So what? So he just doesn't say anything. He just asks, what can you do for me? What can you do for me now? And finally, she says, okay, sir, I will book your flight in a TWA. Those days, TWA used to fly. TWA, and she booked the tickets and she sends them. So there they go. And once they go, the 11 seats they allocate, but it is a chaos. There are so many people coming because other flight was cancelled and other thing. So he goes to the air host that says, assistant, what do you call that? Ticketing assistant, and says, can you put all 11 of us at some nearby seats? She said, sir, it's very difficult. So they allocate all over, and they got one seat. And then the guy next to them, they go to him and says, he goes to him and says, can you move over to the other seat, please? I have a small kid with me. And he was says, no, I booked this ticket 6 months back. I want to relax, blah, blah, blah. So this guy is losing his temper. He maintained until here, but here he is losing it. What kind of guy you are? You are not able to help me, blah, blah, blah. His wife started smiling. As soon as his wife smiles, he knows something, he's doing something wrong. He looks at her and says, what? And she says, I will handle it. She said, okay. So what she does is she puts the car seat next to the guy and puts her infant son in there and gives the water bottle to the guy next to him. If he cries, feed him. If he have a drooling, wipe him. So she starts telling him all those things, and then the husband says, "Oh, oh, now problem is he is not us." The guy changes the seat. So maintaining your composure and asking specific question and be consistent, you get it. That's what they tell. And also ask the right person. Don't go and ask a bank teller, hey, give me a loan. Go to the manager and ask for the loan. So figure out who can give to you. It again goes back to unknown thing. Instead of unknown, find out who can fulfill my desire and ask them. So be specific, consistent, and ask the right person. And power of vulnerability is so a major theme of asking creates connection. By asking for help, you allow others to opportunity to be generous, which strengthens relationship and builds support network. See, a lot of times we don't ask. We think that other person know. They explain these things with wife and husband as well as children. We ask. Sometimes immediately we go in our monotonous mode. You always doesn't do this thing. You always throw all the stuff. Blah blah blah. We go on, but we don't tell them. Hey, I value. He gives very specific example. If he is watching TV, do you want to clean up the table now or after watching the TV? You want to do your homework now or after eat dinner? So be specific your question and stop there. Don't go in your monotonous tone. Allow them to other person to process. That's what they says. On top of it, they might be generous. They are busy right now, but after some time they might be doing it. So allow them to answer. So for this, they also give the implementation strategies, like how you can implement every day about it. He says, ask a day rule. Commit asking one thing every day that is normally wouldn't. A better table at a restaurant, a discount, a help at the desk. They also tell an example of they go to a hotel and they didn't have reservation, but they went and says, hey, can I have the room? And the manager says, no, I don't have any rooms, sir. Sorry. Then immediately says, if the president of America comes here, will you give a room? He says, yes, I have a special suit for him. Oh, he's not going to come anyhow. Why don't you give it to me? So, so, so like that, it's hilarious and mind opening. It opens your mind with so many possibilities are there. So they say visualize, mentally rehearse the act of asking and receiving desensitizes the fear of rejection. A lot of times, like well, everybody has gone through, like when we want a rise or we want something from other people, we imagine the negative. Oh, he will reject it. He will not do it. He will have this reasons to for rejection. But they says think about it. Visualize receiving also. Ask and receive. Ask and receive. There are multiple books about it. Ask mm, Hicks. Abraham Hicks wrote a book about ask and it will be given. and there are number of books about questions, what kind of questions you ask. uh, we are many times we don't know what to ask, but we think about it, but it doesn't come out through our mouth. It will come some vague question which doesn't fulfill. On top of it, the questions also, they says don't ask yes or no questions. That doesn't bring out the conversation. Ask some, um, they call it as yeah, open-ended questions or close-ended questions. Close-ended questions is, are you interested to go out? No, then. So it's a closed-end questions, but ask open-ended questions. I like to go for a walk in weather is pleasant. Will you like to join with me, or can you go? Come with me. Let's go out for a small walk. So like that, there are a lot of things to learn about questioning also. So I will core problem. Yeah, the belief benefits of asking is clarity. Asking force you to define exactly what you want. So that's why you need to think ahead of time what you want to ask so that you have the clarity and make a connection. It builds a bridges and allows others to be generous. Growth, every ask builds your confidence muscle. Uh, so ask. Oh, they also tell this one, SW. Four SWs. What is that? I will show you in the slide. This is also good with sales or anything we are going, like even for meditation, we go to different places. Hey, I want to teach meditation. Will you be interested? So that there, those places also, this asking will help. What to ask, whom to ask, where to ask, what kind of ask we need to do to reach out to the correct person. So, anatomy of great ask is be specific, be bold, be consistent, target the right person. So I will come to SWSW. It's a rule. Always think about it. They says some will, some won't. So what? So what? Some will, some won't. So what? So always think that one. On top of it, in sales, and also they tell every seven no's you will get one yes. They teach them in the Girl Scouts. My daughters used to go to Girl Scouts in a younger age. They also they teach ask, ask. That's what they're training children by selling the cookies. We think that why are they selling cookies and all that things, but they are training children to ask. Everybody they need to ask. They get so many rejections. No, thank you, or somebody will go away. All those things. If the troop leader is good, they will train them. See, this is what happening. This is how they are rejecting you, but it's okay. It's not. They are not rejecting me. They are rejecting cookies. That is the thing. We need to separate us. Nobody rejects me. They are rejecting my idea. So that also they build through the by asking, and they ask you to strengthen your asking muscle. A 7 day challenge. Everybody can have a 7 day challenge. Day 1 to 3, ask small asks, which are like fill up my water bottle or better seat or small favor. And day 4 to 6, ask medium asks. Ask for a discount, a referral, a professional feedback. You can ask for discount. I was amazed when I went to India. I my daughter came over that time. My daughter and son-in-law came, so I invited all my family members to a hotel, and everything happened. 10,000 rupees bill came, and I thought of paying it. But my sister's son, he said, "Mama, give me the bill." Mama, uncle. So he took it and he went to the guy and says, "I want a discount." I was thinking, oh, in hotel also we can ask discount, and he got 1,000 rupees discount, which I didn't think about it. By asking, he got 1,000 rupees discount for 10%, which is, oh, asking doesn't hurt. That's what I learned. Ask, it doesn't hurt. If they say no, no, that's fine. Anyhow, we are ready to pay. It doesn't matter. If they give us, give us. They give. So the lamp is in your hands, and the world can't say yes until you get it something to say yes to. We need to give to the universe so that universe can say yes. Go rub and rub the lamp today. Go out and rub the lamp today. I will show my daughter's presentation, otherwise it didn't come out well. So I just thought of showing you. The world is a mind reader. It's not a mind reader. This is another example. Like a lot of times in wife and husband or children, we expect them to do so few things. I tell my wife later sometimes, I need to put a whiteboard on her head what you need so that we'll read and do it. We need to ask, either it's a wife or husband, ask what you need instead of thinking that, oh, if he loves me, he will do this thing. If she loves me, she will do this thing. It doesn't help. Other person is not a mind reader. They need to know what is in your mind and ask. This is where I said ask is where I'm connecting with non-violent communications by Marshall Rosenberg. He also says connect with the needs, express your need and find other person's need to match the. So I will do nonviolent communications one of these days, but that's an excellent book. So from this book only that I can connect the other one. So as I mentioned, why we don't ask is ignorance, fear of rejection, limiting beliefs, pride, low self-esteem. The benefits of asking: when you ask, you move from being a passenger in your life to being a driver. So make your own life by asking. The anatomy of great ask is: be precise, be specific, be bold, be secure. You are sure you are asking the person who can say yes. Overcoming the fear of no. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone is waiting. If somebody didn't get what I am saying, here it is written. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone is waiting. SWSW. 1, 2, 3, 4. On top of it, there is another one which I learned from these guys is everybody listens to WIIFM. I'm not sure how many people have heard about it. This is the radio station. Nowadays, nobody knows about radio station. In the olden days, we used to have radio station when we used to tune for Ceylon radio to listen to the songs, all those things in the radio. So what they say is everybody listens to WIIFM, means what's in it for me. That is the radio everybody listens to. We need to figure out what is other person is listening so that we can broadcast on that wavelength. Action plan: strengthening the muscle is 7-day ask, as I mentioned. Start small, build the confidence for the big ask. Every day ask. The power is in the asking. That's the presentation. That ends my presentation. Any questions I can answer. Thank you. 5 minutes early.